You know, it's always such a pleasure to see these actors and actresses from Hollywood coming out of the woodwork to finally admit the failings of Hollywood, admit that these films did terribly at the box office because of poor writing, because of poor direction. Zachary Levi, or Levi, however you want to pronounce it, is one of those actors. Super based opinion that he gives right here, although I don't know if he's going to be consistent in the future. We will see. But Zachary Levi slams Hollywood garbage 5 months after Shazam 2's box office disaster. Maybe it's because he just didn't want the movie to do terribly, and so he didn't say too much about it. Maybe he did, but I wasn't paying attention to any of his rhetoric prior. But it looks like he's finally fed up. He's had enough. The SAG-AFTRA strikes are finally getting to people. They're finally beginning to understand that there is a problem in Hollywood, and it's not just AI facial copy-paste, okay? Zachary Levi criticizes Hollywood's frequent release of subpar movies, expressing frustration with the industry's lack of effort in making great content. So let's read this. Shazam! Fury of the Gods star Zachary Levi has criticized Hollywood for the industry's constant output of subpar movies. These comments come only 5 months after the release of Shazam's DC sequel, which marked one of the biggest box office failures for the studio. In light of this failure, Levi has expressed his overall frustration with the Hollywood industry. All right, get ready for this. Speaking at the Chicago Fan Expo while voicing his support for the ongoing WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes, as reported by Entertainment Weekly, Levi passionately slammed the output of the Hollywood industry. When speaking on the state of the world's leading filmmaking model, Levi had this to say, quote, "I personally feel like the amount of content that comes out of Hollywood, that is garbage. They don't care enough to actually make it great for you guys." And they actually don't. And the only way for us to change any of it is not to go to the garbage. Yeah, that's right, just don't go see the movies, right? We have to actively not choose the garbage. It'll help. It'll help a lot. So he's like, hey, those bad movies, and which are a lot of them, by the way, the majority of Hollywood movies, they're all sucking. Just don't go see them, all right? Just don't. Stay away from the movie theaters. These comments ironically come less than half a year after Levi's Shazam 2 marked a major box office failure for Warner Brothers and DC. While Levi's heart is certainly in the right place, and his comments are somewhat warranted regarding Hollywood's constant output of below-par films, it also fits as a scathing reality to why Shazam! Fury of the Gods failed. The film only grossed a worldwide total of $135 million on a budget of around $100 million, proving to be one of DC's biggest box office bombs, which is actually a shame because it's not the worst movie that DC has pushed out. There have been worse movies. I actually somewhat enjoyed Shazam 2, even though it really did have a lot of problems. Was Shazam! Fury of the Gods really that bad? I mean, it was bad. I don't think it was the worst. I think that the finale was just garbage, but there were some really good moments in the movie, and I, of course, like Shazam as a character, and Zachary Levi is a really good choice for this character. I just think that they could have done more with him and the other characters in the movie and focused less on the goddess aspect of the whole thing. I also could have done with a few less CGI dragons. That would have been nice. And Rachel Zegler. These comments from Levi begged the question of whether Shazam! Fury of the Gods was really that bad and whether Levi's comments ironically apply to his own film. In reality, Shazam! Fury of the Gods is not quite as poor as the films Levi is sure to be referencing. The film at least had some semblance of cohesion, I actually agree, with evidence that director David F. Sandberg actually tried to make a film that built on the first, from the character dynamics to the attempt at furthering what made the first Shazam so great. I just think that they should have kept all of the kids' sexualities out of the picture and not given us all of these hints as to one of the characters being a homosexual, which was just like one of the most absurd parts of the whole movie. It did not fit at all, and it was absolutely forced. And it's just like, there are just things that they put in these movies that nobody wants. And it's like, it ruins the story because it pulls you out of the immersion, and it's just really lame. That said, Shazam 2's main issue stems from the forgettable nature of the sequel. I also agree with that one. In trying to make a better, ergo bigger sequel, the film lost sight of the heartwarming family tale at the center of its predecessor. While this shone through in parts, the bloated nature of a superhero sequel attempting to be bigger than the first film was ultimately Shazam 2's downfall. Yeah, they just tried to do way too much. That's what I think as well. They tried to do way too much when it really should have been a more grounded story, because that's really what the core of the story was all about. It was about the characters and how they deal with having powers. It wasn't supposed to be this huge epic scale thing, at least not yet. At least not yet. As such, it would be overly harsh to categorize the film as the garbage movies Levy was protesting against, with Shazam! Fury of God's failure instead stemming from the jumbled state of DC films and the forgettable, middling nature of the film's story and characters. And once again, it really truly is a shame that Shazam 2 has to be cobbled up together with the rest of these box office disasters, because I really do feel like the Shazam movies had potential. When I saw the first Shazam movie, I'm like, dude, they could totally do some great things with this character, especially since like Superman is being put on the back burner, because I was really into Superman and I wanted more Superman from the Snyderverse in these movies. But it looked for a while like we were only going to get Shazam as, you know, a stand-in for Superman. And I was completely okay with it because he was good-natured, enthusiastic, inspirational, bright. I mean, Shazam was such a cool, bright character, you know, and it was a great contrast to the dark nature of the Snyderverse. And it's just such a shame that this movie failed, but I mean, I get why it failed, and the people who made the film should be held accountable for it, because there was some terrible writing and some poor choices in this movie, including Rachel Zegler. I'm just kidding. Just a little bit. But again, that is the nature of Hollywood right now, and I can only expect that more actors and actresses are going to come out of the woodwork and start admitting the truth, that Hollywood is on the decline and there needs to be some serious reform in the entertainment industry. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and share, and if you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Say goodbye, Play-Doh.